All right, and we're back with Kingdom Hearts. We got some business in Traverse Town before we leave for our first world.
All right, so we're Robin. Cool.
Yep. So there's that's another type of chest that is never used again, either in this game or any future one.
Huh.
Even though it's basically just a chest. But yeah, I'm gonna be getting the postcards as soon as I can and then using them before I leave, but some of them you just can't get until later.
I see. What's like a rough percentage of what you can and can't get at first?
I think it's like, I think there's 10 postcards and you can get like 6 or 7 of them.
That's kind of nuts.
On this first visit.
Like, I'm sure that the idea is they wanted you to, like, stumble upon them in different playthroughs or whatever.
Yeah, they wanted you to be rewarded for exploring the critical first time around, and you know they figured that you probably wouldn't find all of them even if you do look around on your first visit. So they only hold back a couple later for when you get new stuff.
Mm-hmm. I have to say that of all the Disney park, all the rides and attractions at Disney Park, the most evocative thing this place reminds me of, other than Fantasyland as a whole, is Small World, especially the stained glass stuff in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, as a kid, I loved Small World, and then as a teen, I was too cool for Small World, and then as an adult, I'm like, yeah, I've come back around to this. It's fine. If it's ever open, it's like always closed down whenever I'm at Disneyland, which isn't that often, but...
Yeah, so that's one of them. That right there was one of the more cryptically hidden postcards. It's like, just examine this random corner of this balcony up here.
Yeah.
Abandoned little house here.
It's Nightmare Before Christmas replacing Haunted Mansion that I despise anytime I'm at Disneyland. The novelty wore off really fast. Oh! Wait. So you did unlock it, okay.
Yeah, that door is locked until you can... The first time you come around here, Sora either doesn't know that the Keyblade can unlock things, or you're in the middle of a fight and he can't unlock the door.
Interesting.
And we have our Trinity.
So each colored one has a different animation associated with it, right?
Yeah, so blue is Trinity Jump. And they also color code the different types of items that can be dropped. So right there, blue is a, I believe, blue is usually either an accessory or like something that you can trigger only in the items menu.
I had such a bad time jumping across this in an embarrassing amount.
I remember having trouble with it when I first played the game, and then I've never really had much trouble with it since. So that chest over there and this Trinity, it's going to take a long time before we can get them.
I think I can see what's going on. Or at least I could see what might happen.
So in a lot of the guides that I was looking up, it seemed, and also in the game's theater mode, which provides kind of the canon order for things, coming into Merlin's room is more done in the second visit to Traverse Town, but I decided to do it here.
It reminds me of the
Might as well.
place back home, where we used to scribble on the walls. Remember? Kairi?
So Sora's tripping out because this is not a memory of Kairi.
Nah. Sorry, you have to let me go. The accident was Riku's fault. Ah, that's funny that text says that. You've arrived soon.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Because I believe that it's supposed to be that Merlin sees the past the way we see the future, and vice versa.
Oh. So he can't remember anything that's already happened?
More or less. He can
Ugh.
slightly predict things that happened just a second ago. Or maybe that's a different interpretation of Merlin that I'm mixing it up with, but... So,
Frankly,
this was kind of retconned because Donald and Goofy should know very well what Merlin is because I think he trained them.
Huh.
You know, once again, early installment weirdness, they were playing around with different ideas, and then they make a prequel, and it's like, oh, wait. Hey, he knows about the Keyblade. Oh, I might have missed it, but I think Goofy might have just said I think he names King Mickey, which is like the only time that Mickey's name is said in the game, yeah.
Otherwise, it's just the king.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you ever watch Sorcerer Sword in the Stone as a kid?
I think we had it on VHS. I don't think I ever watched it much. I know I've watched it since I became a Kingdom Hearts fan.
There's always more to it than I remember. I'm surprised Madame Mim isn't some kind of smaller boss in this series at any point.
Mm-hmm. So, one thing I didn't get to talk about during the opening was that Sora's opening line, "I've been having these weird thoughts lately." It was originally intended to be echoed at the end of the game, where he and an unidentified other character would say them together. This would not actually happen until the end of the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC, where they finally executed on that idea. So I like this, where Merlin and the Fairy Godmother are just sort of bumming it together because their worlds were, like, destroyed.
Yeah. My headcanon is I totally ship these two together, but that's just me.
And it's funny, because the Fairy Godmother of all characters is one of the more influential characters in the most recent canon Kingdom Hearts-like events.
Oh, okay.
Like, one of the very last things that we have seen in terms of, like, events, it wouldn't have been possible without her. She was there.
That's fascinating. Bippity boppity bummer.
Oh. You know, it's mostly Cinderella. It's whenever they play around with showing worlds and talking about worlds in Kingdom Hearts 1 that were destroyed, they seem to default to Cinderella.
That girl just can't catch a break. Oh, that's cool. I'm not sure if I ever did this.
Yeah, you can just sort of do target practice with your magic so you can get a good feel for what it does, and...
There's this one outfit Merlin has that's like, kind of like Genie's like vacation outfit. And it's something I wish that they'd put him in more, like Disney Dreamlight Valley. I think you can like buy it for him, which I'm not doing that, but I always appreciate alternate outfits for Disney characters.
See ya.
Yeah, so here we can get a glimpse at the MP system, which is not always intuitive to new players. So basically, each blue section is 1 MP, but not all MP is created equal. Each one is made up of those orange sections, equal to the number of MP before it, plus itself.
Okay.
So basically, right there, I have 2 MP plus a little bit more.
Okay.
And as you hit things and get more MP, that orange bar will fill up, and if it fills up one segment beyond what you have filled up in terms of blue, then you'll get another MP.
Okay.
And same thing if you drain it backwards. And using up 1 MP uses up one of those blue segments, but that has a varying amount of what it will do with the orange. shooting fire or blizzard uses, quote, a little MP, and it uses up one of those orange sections instead of one of the blue ones. So as you get more MP, you get the rate at which you get more shots of fire and blizzard increases.
Okay. That's handy because those are very spammable spells.
It's kind of a self-correcting bit of design there, because once you start getting down to very low amounts of MP, what it means is that you only need a couple of segments in order to get another MP. So you can't use big things, but you can still, you know, manage to get like an emergency cast of Cure back. Whereas when you have a lot, you can just spam fire to high heaven and use big stuff, but it'll be really hard to get that back.
Because, yeah, I remember on some of the later boss fights, I would grind out to refill my magic when I got pretty desperate. And I would just save, like, I would grind till I could cast something big. Because I kind of took fire and blizzard and thunder for granted. Not so much thunder, though. I like thunder a lot.
Yeah, 2 of the spells use up a little MP, 2 of them use up, or no, it's 3 of them use up 1 MP, and then 2 of them use up 2.
Into the chimney we go.
And then there are some techniques that can use up more, including one that just drains all of your remaining MP.
What were you trying to do there?
I think I was just trying to get from place to place and look cool, but I was underestimating my jump height, or overestimating it.
For a second, I thought you were trying to go in the chimney.
No, I think I was just trying to show that since I lit the fire in the fireplace, the smoke is coming out now.
That's fun.
And that has no effect, and you can turn the fireplace off using Blizzard when we get that later. There's no effect, it's just kind of fun.
So who do you tend to buy equipment for more, Goofy or Donald?
I'm kind of try to do it equally.
Okay.
But Donald, on a base level, tends to be more helpful, because even though he's very wasteful, he at least has Cure. But after a certain point, Goofy becomes way more useful due to this one ability he gets.
I see.
So, fun fact, when Square started working on porting the games to HD consoles with the PS3, they realized that they had lost this game's original source code and had to reverse engineer the entire thing.
That's awful.
And that also means that the model here for Sora is not the original PS2 model. I believe that one actually has noticeably darker hair. This one is a modified version of the one from Dream Drop Distance. Alright, and we have the world map, and I can tell you about the next mod. You may notice that the worlds are looking a little bit spiffier than you remember. That's because I'm using a mod that replaces the kind of low-res 3D rendered models with this beautiful illustrated world art.
That is cool. I like that.
Yeah, it looks so much better, not just because it's crisper, but I just think the illustrations look better.
Yeah.
But it was on the PS2. They wanted the... I think that illustrations would have looked a little bit flat, and they wanted them to be like 3D models, to be like, oh, these are big and important, because this is still relatively early 3D stuff.
Right. It's funny that there's heartless ships at all, but... Like, are there heartless piloting the ships, or are the ships the heartless themselves?
And once again, I am reminded of that one awkward zombie comic I alluded to earlier. Oh yeah, we shot down another heartless ship. Zara, there's no such thing as heartless ships. They can't pilot anything. Well then, whose ships have we been shooting down? It just shows Lady and the Tramp screaming as their ship goes down in flames.
The other comic they have, or that she did of that, was the Donald and Goofy just saying, like, the systems are failing, the engine's totally shot, we can't keep it up. And then it's like, why did you make the entire ship out of guns? I thought it looked cool.
I regret nothing. Yeah. I mean, you can do that, but your HP will be in the absolute toilet. And you also can't have a ship without a cockpit.
Right.
I'll briefly show the Gummi editor later, but I skipped past most of the actual building of the Gummi ships.
I didn't even know you could do it on my first playthrough. I was like, what are all these parts for?
Yep. So yeah, you also have a score based off of the enemies you kill and the things you pick up, and it all relates to the Gummi missions, which are, once you complete a Gummi route, you can do it again and try and get a score or complete different missions that get you mostly decorative Gummi parts.
I see. Remember when you said that the ship runs on smalls thing might be literal? I'm just picturing some of the, like, villains that must have Gummi ships of their own, just evil grinning their way through whatever you call this place. I mean, this place doesn't really strike me as space, but I guess it is.
It's
nebulas.
So this place is called the Ocean Between, although that term I don't think actually appeared in a game until Kingdom Hearts 3, although I definitely knew that term. It was probably in one of the Ultimanias before that game came out.
Yeah, I used to picture that Riku, Sora, and Kairi, had they been successful with their raft, that they could have just, like, floated off the edge of their world and drifted into interspace like this, but probably not. I don't think gravity would let you do that.
Yeah, so Gummi ships are not the most fondly remembered parts of Kingdom Hearts 1. I generally like them. I've had a couple of playthroughs where I actually got really into them and nearly did all of the Gummi missions, although some of them are just miserable. In fact, some might actually be impossible on higher difficulties.
Ugh. Yeah, I do not enjoy them.
Yeah, they're, especially at the beginning where they're most critical, they're pretty slow due to how few parts you have to work with. And the editor is awkward. They significantly improved Gummi ships in Kingdom Hearts 2. But the system that they were able to implement in Kingdom Hearts 1 was far below what they had wanted to do.
Yeah, it definitely feels like an afterthought almost.
Kingdom Hearts 3's Gummi ships are a lot closer to what they had in their heads.
Oh, I've never looked up before there.
Yeah, for Kingdom Hearts 1. They wanted you to be able to, like, free roam around with the ships in a giant 3D environment. But given that this was an unproven game and they were having to build a lot of stuff and figure things out, it just wasn't in the cards.
I wish I could clean my room like that.
How did he get so small?
No, you're simply too big. Must you be so loud? You woke me up. Good morning. Good night. I need a bit more sleep.
So the doorknob here is voiced by Corey Burton, who does a couple of assorted Disney voices in the game. Originally voiced by Joseph Kearns, who was Mr. Wilson on the old black and white Dennis the Menace.
Ah.
And he was born in Salt Lake City as a member of the church. His ancestors crossed the plains.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Died in '62 from a cerebral hemorrhage, unfortunately.
Oh, gosh.
He was only 55.
Oh, that's tragic.
Yeah, but so... And, yeah, this brings us to another factor as to... one of the big things about the marketing of this game was just how many original Disney voice actors were returning. But obviously, when some of these movies are from, like, the 50s and 60s, many of those voice actors were unavailable simply because they had passed away.
Yeah. Frankly, some of them that they get, I'm, like, impressed. I'm impressed they got any at all. Just because this is like a grand experiment that I feel like nobody ever expected to go anywhere.
Yeah, when this game was announced, it was actually derided. A lot of people thought that this was not only out of left field, but really quite stupid and doomed to be kishy and clashing and not work. You have to understand that when Kingdom Hearts came out, we were Disney Animation. Yeah. Don't worry about your party members dying. They'll just come back real quick. Disney animation was not in a good place in 2002. The Disney Renaissance was definitively over, and we were knee-deep in the era of straight-to-DVD sequels.
I'd give anything to get those back. It's better than what we're getting now. Not much.
Also, Shrek had come out the previous year and had obviously thrown Disney into a tizzy over how it...
Wait. Did you just say Shrek predates Kingdom Hearts 1?
Yes, it came out in 2001.
Oh, my brain. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so,
There's no doubt about it. And the reason is because I say so, that's why.
So let's see. The Queen of Hearts is voiced by Tress MacNeille, who also voices Daisy.
I can hear
Of course.
very Futurama voice.
Absolutely nothing wrong. You may be queen.
Yep, she was voiced by Verna Felton in the film, who died in '66 from a stroke.
Silence! You dare
I'm not surprised. I hate
She
to
was
say.
76. She was a very prolific Disney voice actress. She also voiced Dumbo's mother, Aunt Sarah in Lady and the Tramp, and Flora of the Three Good Fairies of Sleeping Beauty. Oh, and Winifred the Elephant in the Jungle Book, which was her final role.
Wow.
And she died one day before Walt Disney.
Oh, man. I only said I'm not surprised because of the Queen of Hearts temper, but I didn't realize she did so much.
Hold it right there.
Now, on the other hand, is Alice. This is the most prominent and most unexpected of the returning casts because she is voiced by Catherine Beaumont, who reprises her role from the film.
That's incredible.
Yes. She was also the model for Alice in her character design in the movie. She was able, in this game, to replicate her original performance despite 5 decades having gone by.
That's crazy.
It sounds identical.
Yeah. So now I have a little fun trivia for you. Had things gone a different way, we might have been hearing my grandmother voicing Alice right there because A, she's still alive, and B, she actually tried out back in the day for, I think it was either Alice or Wendy, but like they both have the same voice actress, I believe.
That is correct. Catherine Beaumont voiced both Alice and Wendy. And she is also one of the very, very few people who have contributed to Kingdom Hearts in some way who have also worked directly with Walt Disney.
That's really cool. Because, my grandma talked about, my mom, she got me all dressed up and went down to the studio and I tried my best and I sang a little song and in the end they went with the British girl. Or at least, I don't know if the voice actress is actually British, but she has a certain British vibe about her. But yeah, it's funny. My grandma was involved that way, and then my grandpa was actually in a film as an extra for Roy Disney that I wish I could find. He cannot remember the name of it. I want to find it so bad. Because my grandparents live on the other side of Burbank Mountain, so that's not what it's called, but it's, other side of Burbank. Anyway.
So, the game was thought to be a flop in coming, but Kingdom Hearts 1 is actually the 10th best-selling PS2 game ever.
I can believe that. In fact, I'm amazed it's not higher on that list, but
it came in just shy of 6 million copies. Places 1 through 5 are all the exclusive domain of GTA and Gran Turismo.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
but that makes sense.
The remaining 4 are Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 2, Tekken 5, and Final Fantasy 12, and then Kingdom Hearts 1.
It's kind of nuts to me just how many PlayStation 2 games there are.
Oh, gee. I mean, it was the most popular platform of its era, and what does that mean? Shovelware.
Like, it's telling to me that they were still making games for the PS2 during the Wii era, I think.
I mean, that had more to do with the absolute flop status of the PS3 at the beginning. But yes, the PS2 was so popular that it was able to survive well into the next era.
Because I never really thought about the fact that, oh yeah, was there a PS3 Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and in something that could not you couldn't think of this if you wrote it, or I'm stumbling over my words. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the 13th best-selling game on a PS2. He can't keep getting away with it.
Well, if you're going to stumble over your words anywhere, Alice in Wonderland World is a good place to do it.
Yep. Hello, Cheshire Cat.
I feel like he's the only sane man in this entire... Like, he gives me that vibe. Like, he's like, I see some crap going on, and I'm going to help these people out.
So I believe he is not voiced here in this game, but in later games he is, and it's pretty obvious that he is being voiced by whoever does Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, you have to do that. Like, and if it's... Because Winnie the Pooh, for the longest time, has been voiced by the guy who voices Tigger as well. His name is... Oh, man, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Let's see, why can't I don't think I have Tigger's voice actor information here, but he's not the original one.
No, the original one is really cool. He was an old-timey actor, and he was in a lot of cool, like, black and white movies and stuff, I think. Like, my brother's an old film buff, so he's shown us some movies that he's in, which I also can't remember the name, but let me see here. I'm gonna feel stupid when I see this name.
Alright, while you're looking,
Jim Cummings! That's the name!
That's it, yep, that's the one. Yeah, so, about Wonderland specifically in this game, I feel like they were kind of between a rock and a hard place given their choice of worlds. Because I don't think that Wonderland is the ideal pick for the first world of a game because of how, it topsy-turvy and, going in one door and coming out in a weird place. A more straightforward world would have been a better pick, but thematically, I feel like Wonderland fits. Maybe that's just my nostalgia of, oh yeah, Wonderland is first. I don't know.
Yeah, so Alice in Wonderland kind of gave me an existential fear. Like, watching it as a kid, something about her getting lost in the woods, like, awoke some kind of fear in me. And I feel like that fear almost carried into playing this game for the first time, but it is funny how this world gives me vibes of, like, a child's, like, playset. Like, it doesn't feel entirely real, if that makes sense.
That's probably because, like, the Lotus Forest is quite clearly a box with some stuff around it. There's a very real sense of artificiality to it, with, like, textures from objects casually spilling onto the flat walls. It's clearly intentional. Like, look, right here, like, they're not even trying to hide the fact that this is just a box.
Yeah, it's... I'm looking at you, ukulele.
And it's clearly intentional. I'm just not sure what the exact intent is, because every other world is far more naturalistic. I guess they just thought that it would be an efficient way to make Wonderland feel weird.
Yeah. I feel like if they would have visited it for the first time in the third game, we would have gotten a much more vibrant, crazy, just technically proficient, like, kind of world. Because 3D was still like the PS2 and GameCube era. I still feel like it was a big jump for sure, but I feel like the visuals may have been good, but they didn't really know how to do a ton yet. Despite, I mean, they did amazing things, but
it was such a new frontier that most of the PS1 era was just stumbling in the dark and trying to find something that works. And it wasn't until the PS2 that a lot of things were really finding their feet and really taking off.
Oh, right, antenna on a Heartless.
Yeah. So, this jump may look impossible. It is totally doable.
I have spent I think that's my biggest hatred of this is this room, specifically because I didn't understand what is that.
Oh, that's a Gummi.
Okay, I just could not figure out the platforming in this room. Like, I'm like, am I cheesing it? Am I doing it the right way? Like, I could not figure it out. And I think there's like something obvious in the room that I missed, like whether it was like the flowers or something.
So Dalmatians, since there's 99 of them, rather than subjecting us to 99 individual puppies, they just said, you get 3 of them in each batch, so there's really 33.
Yeah, that would be kind of nuts.
Yeah, honestly, I don't find this to be too bad. I did have to look this up to get my routing down exactly, but that was just because I was recording. But that's mostly just because of how many times I've done this. But yeah, this little bit where you have to use up a potion to get big, and then you can smack this thing to swivel it around. There's a lot of running around and trying things and hoping that it works. But now that we stood on the log, this thing came up, so now we can come over here to the bizarre room. So, right now we are collecting evidence for the trial. You don't have to get any evidence, and the penalty for not getting any evidence is so slight that it's a legitimate option to just save time and not do it. But if you get all of them, like I have just done, that's the hardest one right there, you do get a little prize.
Oh, yeah.
Which the Cheshire Cat will give us in just a second. But yeah, so these areas bring us back to the bizarre room, and we just sort of drop out, and then later, right here, you get Blizzard early.
Oh,
later,
really?
we'll be coming out into the same areas in the bizarre room, but circumstances will change, and the nature of what that means will be different.
So when I first played through this, when do you get it then? Because I always get it here.
If you don't get all of the evidence, you will get Blizzard, I believe, at the end of the world.
Okay.
After you beat the boss and they're ready to move on.
Expand duck.
So back here, if you return to the rabbit hole, you can fight some enemies and get some extra things. This is some of the missable stuff, because there are 3 different times that you can do this. One of them, I believe this one, will go away after we start the trial. There's another one, like, after you complete the world, and then another one after we start going into endgame stuff.
Oh, because, yeah, I pretty much, like, any excuse to never come back here, I took it, because I just didn't love this world.
It's not likely to be someone's favorite on their first time through.
So the room where it's all topsy-turvy, I'm curious, like, obviously, it's probably a different model, but they took the model and rotated it, but it's like, I doubt that it's the actual same space. I don't know.
Oh, programmatically?
Yeah, I'm curious how they did that. Like, because there are a couple ways you can handle that.
I would think that, given the technology, it probably was the same area, just with different rules.
Because I'd be curious to see if you were to, like, say, turn moon jump on or whatever, if you could get to some of the stuff early as soon as you enter the room. Although, when you change sizes, I feel like that's got to be a separate map. But then again, maybe it's not. Like, it's really hard to say. I'm sure there's some Kingdom Hearts geniuses out there who figure that out.
Yeah. Honestly, it's possible that I could figure it out based on what the actual answer is, based on the files. Like, if there's a different file for, like, Wonderland Big or Wonderland Small.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
That's what you'd have to do. You'd have to, like, comb through the files.
So yeah, there's always 5 pieces of evidence. There's yours, plus the Queen of Hearts will add in her own evidence to make it 5. And yes, it is a completely random choice. I have collected all 4 pieces and gotten and picked the wrong one before.
I wonder what her what is it if you get hers?
So the only difference is that if you pick evidence that implicates you or Alice, Donald and Goofy will be slightly incapacitated for the boss battle. That's really not a big deal.
I'm just curious. I'm picturing the Queen and her bad handwriting just has a note that said, "I did it, Alice," or something stupid like that. Man, Alice is small compared to Sora.
I mean, she's what, like 12?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And she's a small British girl?
Yes, a malnourished British girl who is probably, I want the beauty from the consumption, or whatever.
So yeah, we picked one of our pieces of evidence which implicate the Heartless, but I've picked evidence before where Donald pops out, and it's like, oh, well, Donald did it.
Okay, that's what I was curious.
Seize them at once.
This is Kangaroo Court.
Wow, that's an impressive trick, getting rid of most of your castle.
Yes. She doesn't mess around with hammer space. Oh, if they touch the tower. Wait.
The Queen's just like, if they touch the tower, I'll have your heads, which is your cue that the win condition is to destroy the tower.
Oh, I thought it said if they touch the tower, you lose, which is not at all the case.
She was talking to her soldiers.
Right. I read it as like the game giving you instructions because I feel like my reading skills continue to diminish year by year.
But yeah, this is pretty easy. Just whack away at the tower. The card soldiers, if you defeat them, they'll just pop back up after a minute.
Yeah.
And boss fight over.
She gone.
Alice is gone. Slick operation there. Stealing Alice out from everyone's noses.
Yeah, probably by Maleficent or something, if I had to guess. Or at least some lackey. I don't know.
Ooh, but yeah, early on in the playthrough, I made a point of talking to a lot of characters, trying to get more dialogue. I sort of fell off with that later. Also because there's usually fewer characters in later worlds to really interact with.
Makes sense. You know, it'd be funny if they decided to have, like, a croquet minigame shoved in here.
Oh, please no. There's already enough minigame stuff in these games. We'll be getting to that later, but anyways, that does it for this part. We will see you next time in Kingdom Hearts.